The Saskatchewan government paved the way for 51 stores to open all across the province, everywhere from the border town of Estevan to the remote northern community of La Loche. But 12 of those stores have yet to open. In one case, it's because the would-be operator has been tied up in red tape for over a year. Clayton Sparks won the chance at the La Loche store, but he only found out that he'd passed the Liquor and Gaming Authority's background check last week, so he's got some catching up to do.
Well, I think that's still going to take a few months, like of process of selecting the location, getting something temporary in place there, doing the proper security, cameras, sourcing supply. It's going to be at least 3 months. So I'm going to say early in the new year is kind of what I'm kind of gunning for.
Sierra Sieben Shubik opened her downtown Saskatoon store 9 months ago. She was only 23 years old and fresh out of business school when she started out. She says owning a cannabis store is not a license to print money.
People don't realize the costs associated with this industry and what it takes to start up a business. With any business, there's a huge startup cost, usually. Another thing we had faced was a $20,000 licensing fee from the city of Saskatoon, which was a blow.
The city of Saskatoon has now reduced the pot licensing fee to only $85 a year, following outcry from store owners and city councillors, but sellers have also had to fight against the black market. After legalization, dealers in Saskatchewan dropped their price more drastically than in any other province, by more than $2. Meanwhile, the price of legal weed went up by $3. Before cannabis was legalized, police wondered just how much they'd have to deal with people smoking it in public. Well, it turns out it really wasn't much of a big deal.
The sky didn't fall, right? And none of us knew. I think when we look back, we all look back, think how kind of unaware we all were of what the actual implications were going to be. But the reality is, it hasn't been yet a significant issue for us.
Good afternoon. Saskatoon Police for the Sobriety Checkpoint. How are you today?
In Saskatoon, only 72 people were disciplined for drug-impaired driving over a 6-month period. That's only 12 incidents per month, and it includes drugs other than cannabis, too.
If we look at the numbers, certainly the sky hasn't fallen. I think we've seen an increase in the number of drivers who are using cannabis, but I don't think it's the disaster that was predicted by some.
Of course, now that edibles are legal in Canada, the next question is whether that will create any negative consequences. The provincial government is not taking any chances. It's warning people right off the bat not to keep enticing-looking products like pot cookies or candy near the reach of young children. Guy Kemville, CBC News, Saskatoon.